Been there all
I
last
already
year.
go on.
16 days in the middle of the pool.
You have it?
Didn't get into that many times all together last year.
Green holds it. That's because you only consume a building.
Pool. Moving.
Kiddie pool? Oh.
27 feet above ground.
Pretty good.
No, I ended up over in that piece of the west.
My husband will take care of it.
She has
I wouldn't worry about it.
before we got together, she was having a problem with the pool.
Downstairs goes on the floor.
You got a bigger problem than the pool now.
They'll give it a.
She's got
Good. It's deep now.
apparently worked out.
They should have one that fits on the back of a chair, so you can just put it in it.
What do we got up over here?
Well, if I drag my left foot going over there, I'll be walking into the wall.
Don't want you to do that.
There you go. Thank you.
Sure.
Wow, what's the time it is?
Is it 6 o'clock from where you see it?
1 minute up.
I don't want to hold it up. Huh? Minutes long?
He was a little premature. Let him push it.
Well, I embarrassed myself. Oh, no. Okay, we start by saluting the flag. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would take a motion on the,
Someone,
for here a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Vote. Good. Any adjustments to the agenda?
I have nothing, sir.
Good.
You move all the road crew stuff to the end of the meeting?
Sounds appropriate.
Just checking.
He's trying to keep this smooth. Any comments from the public? Lois, how did I know you was gonna say something?
Well, I wanted to say thank you for cutting the sides of the road.
Got every bit of it for you, didn't we?
Yeah, well, my road, I don't know about the rest of them. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Something, Joyce?
No, good to be here.
Oh, okay. Mr. Ed?
As a town resident, 121, when you go to turn onto King Street, you know, when the state took out the toll house and all that, they cut it back. When you're going to turn on King Street, you cannot see the cars coming from Pleasant Street. I think the town, I don't know, the town owns the land now, I think they give it back to the town. But we gotta discuss something about the cars going to turn onto King Street, we're gonna have a collision there. You're in a small car, you can't even see nothing. I mean, it's scary.
Is that little patch of land you're talking about?
Just as you go across the bridge on the right, the town, I think, owns it now.
Yeah.
The state give it back to us. But when you go to turn on to King Street, at nighttime, you think there's a car coming because of the street light. And, but you go to turn and they're right there.
Jim, do you comment?
Yeah, if you make the corner correctly, don't cut off this yellow line, you're all set. You can see just fine.
Okay. Any other public
They're probably
comment?
going a lot faster than they're supposed to back through there too,
Yeah, for coming off of Pleasant Street.
because they've got the measurements and how far they're supposed to be able to see.
No, I'm gonna argue with that one. Because I come right to a stop and wait. And you still can't see them unless you go basically beyond the end of the road. The King Street.
It's scary.
They've come out and taken it down once, since they did it. They took some of that banking out, the state did, but they didn't take it out.
Now it's all growing up again, so
Yeah.
now it's there, somebody's gonna get hurt.
Okay,
Now, if it's a state problem or if it's a town problem, I think it's a state problem. I mean, if somebody complains to the state and tell them that.
Colby?
Rick, has there been any accidents or anything else there?
Just to make sure I'm clear, this is coming off King Street under Pleasant by the old firehouse.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
turn on.
When you're looking up towards the sign,
Yes.
we have not.
Okey dokey. Business items. Reappointment of Timothy Mosier to the planning board.
So,
Do I hear a second?
second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Liquor license renewal application for Pizza Hut doing business with the American Dream Restaurants LLC.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any problems out there, Rick? No?
No.
Good?
It's all good.
All in favor? Liquor license renewal application for Oxbow Lodge and Beer Garden.
So moved.
Do I hear a second? Any discussion? Any problems, Rick?
All good there too.
All in favor? Transfer station fee update discussion.
So Ed approached me a little bit ago about the fees over at the transfer station. I've included the old fees and then his proposed new fees. A bunch of this comes, and Ed, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of fees have gone up to dispose of things for the transfer station, so he's asking for an increase in order to cover those costs. I think one of them was what, the mattresses and such. Did you want to maybe give a quick rundown?
Demolition, when we done our budget, we planned on $135 a ton for demolition, and Auburn came in and they changed their prices 3 times within a week. They finally figured on July 1st, they came up with a price. They went to $165 a ton for demo, and they're charging you for every mattress and every box spring you bring in now, at $25 a piece. We charge $5 a piece to get rid of them. I know we're gonna probably see some in the woods and on the road, but what do you do? There's the town that eats the other $20 per mattress that we take in, and we're taking in 20 of them. When the guy sells them out here on 26, discounts, he has his little tent out there, and everybody decides they need to change the mattress. But it's getting to a point where if we go with what we was budgeted, we're gonna be way over budget by the end of the year. Because now that Auburn is charging per mattress, they also are charging you the weight. So when you go in, you weigh in on your scales, and then they count the mattresses in your load. So they're double dipping us is what they're doing right now.
So they're charging you the weight and they're charging you.
Yes, plus per item. Just to throw some out, the Norway Terraces had their meeting last night, and they went to $600 a ton on demolition, and $25 a mattress to cover their cost. I'm proposing 400, we're at 200 now. I get a feeling we're gonna see probably some other towns trying to sneak in some other people that own land in Oxford that own land in Norway, and there's no way to stop it, but as long as they own land, we're gonna eat it. But I upped a lot of the prices, just as you can see that. I just don't wanna see when it gets in June that we're gonna be $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 in the hole, that's all.
And I think what Ed's proposing is, reasonable.
So we're pretty well comparable to everybody else.
Norway's always a lot higher.
Always
They
was.
just, they went up another $20 more than what I proposed.
Mhm.
They've been 15 cents a pound, I believe, for quite a while, where we was 10. And now they're gonna be 30 cents a pound.
What's the rest of the board think?
Well, we keep increasing the fees, it's just like increasing taxes, so. Taxes are gonna go up to the people this year on their property. We're gonna increase fees for their Rubbish, so,
I think the rubbish, it's just a demolition. So
well,
the thing about it is the people that use it should pay for it, that's the way I feel. That shouldn't all this extra, if somebody decides they want to tear down a 50 by 50 deck, why should all the townspeople have to pay for that? They should have to pay for something to get rid of it.
But you said it was mattresses too, correct?
Mattresses, box springs, and demolition.
Mattresses, okay. Any other comments from the board?
Just you run the risk of, you're gonna find more of it on the roadside, as you know, like we used to do. And then you're not gonna get anything for it.
then we're gonna pick it up.
Somebody's gonna have to go pick it up and bring it for free, so.
You gonna make it, you wanna compromise, or you wanna just leave it the way it is?
Rough idea on how many mattresses and box springs you take in a month?
In a month, an average 30 to 50.
And you're charging what now?
$5 a piece.
They're charging us $20.
And they're charging us 25 as of July 1st.
They weren't charging us anything, right?
Right, it was all part of the demo.
I don't see how they can charge us for both, but charging us for,
I called them and tried to argue with them, but it don't work. There's nothing in our contract about demolition, bulky waste, it's just trash itself is, that fee stays the same. That stays at 93.
but a mattress isn't demolition.
That's how it goes in, though. It's oversized bulky waste. They don't charge us for the couches and all that, yeah, so that, we're doing good with that, you know?
Well.
The tires have gone up, we've eaten on the tires, I don't know if I put the tire price up or not, but that went up to $165 a ton too, and the $400 a ton for the large tires. I know, it's just this, it's a win-win, lose-lose, I mean, I don't know how the town wants to do it, if they want to eat it, and
Well, I think I'm all right with the demolition cost going up. But I think you're gonna, you
You're
get
not gonna find out
20
how.
mattresses a month, you're gonna have a quarter of them on the roadside somewhere. I'd be willing to bet.
Yep.
And then you're out that money anyway. So,
So should we leave it the way it is and just watch it and see how many mattresses he gets for a little bit? Or try to keep a close eye on it?
so when you're taking mattresses in, they're not weighing it like demolition.
not when we take it in, no.
But they're
It's not
weighing
like
it
the
for
big one
us.
we take it down there.
So I don't know, I mean, what do you think would be better, to charge demolition or the straight fee?
For us, I don't think a mattress weighs that much, I mean, so if you were to do 5 at the price that we're getting it, it would only be 50 pounds, and the mattress weighs probably a little bit more than that.
I'm not a resident, but,
Yep.
I don't know what bed mattress is, no idea. But I'm pretty sure if you put it in that dumpster dry, and you get 3 days of rain, it's gonna weigh a lot more.
Bet it is. Do we cut them open once upon a time?
No, we used to say.
Didn't they?
Kind of open,
No way Paris transfer used to bust them apart, with like the box springs and all that, separate them apart, and then just went, I think, the demolition.
I thought we did it once upon a time.
It didn't last because the guys didn't want to do it.
I don't blame him, I wouldn't want to do
I
it
wouldn't
either.
either, I
It's
mean.
labor
no,
intensive.
no,
Find out
no,
what
the
the
bed bugs
problem's
are
are.
out right now, you bring them home and somebody else can be eating them.
I think we just made the same face.
So,
We just made the same face.
no, but I mean,
I think, in my opinion, it's too much across the board on top of the tax increases that are coming. Taxpayers think they're already paying taxes, they shouldn't have to pay all kinds of extra fees if they're, bought a new bed or bought a new couch or, I mean, I've been doing a lot of demo and bringing it down and weighing it in and paying it. It is what it is, but, I'm good with increasing the demo cost, that's my opinion, I don't know about the rest of it. If somebody can persuade me.
So you wanna,
At least right
but
now.
you wanna leave the box springs mattresses the way they are?
Go from 5 to 10 maybe? I know Norway and Paris went
about
from
split the cost, the 25 goes 1250.
I can be persuaded maybe.
You know, I mean, Molly Paris, they just put the fees up, they're $25 a piece now, so
Yeah, but you're gonna end up with them.
that's what I'm saying. We're gonna be eating them, because if they own land in Oxford and we're gonna charge $12.50, you know they're gonna come to us.
Yeah, but I don't, well, they're gonna be dropped off in the roadside now.
Well, the town crew will pick them up and we'll have to get rid of them for nothing.
Right.
It's our responsibility still.
I think you're gonna see,
Well, it is a kind of a problem that will not go away no matter what you do with it.
I will go,
I don't
I will
know
go with the $12.50.
what he is for tires right now, and not to bring that in up. Just a week ago, I got hold of Ricky, I was doing the Swamp Road, and we picked up 18 tires off the Swamp Road. So, if you think about that, I don't have time to run around twice a week to pick up mattresses off the road, or tires. My concern is like David said, or you said, you're gonna find a lot more than one truck. I understand it's expensive to get rid of them, I totally get that part.
So do we have a motion to go $12.50 and move the demo to what Ed suggested? Did you make that, Dan?
I'll go with $12.50 for the mattresses.
What about the demo?
Demo's $400 a ton from what to?
200. That's only, it goes from 10 to 20 cents.
and our cost went from what to what?
Went from 135 to 165. And then that's just the tipping fee, then you've got the trucking fee, which he's got a contract for 2 years, so after that, the trucking fee will probably go up. Yep. They're doing an excellent job.
I'll make a motion to go to 300 for demolition and 1250 for the mattress and Bot Springs.
I'll
It's a place to
second that.
start, and then we'll monitor it for 6 months.
It can be revisited at any time. So did you second it, Colby?
Yes, I did.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Yeah.
I can make one other comment when you're done, sir.
Yes, sir. Go for it.
All right, Ed just made a mention about Norway and Paris. I also wanted to mention that Norway and Paris, their solid waste board that they have over there, they're interested in bringing their brush over to us over here. Ed's talked to them about that some, the idea of them paying a fee of like $2,500 for the year. And if it was anything, oversized, they'd pay $5 a ton. Is that something the board would be interested in exploring, allowing them to do that?
And then we're gonna get paid for
We
it
get
going out.
paid
too.
for, somebody comes and picks that up, right?
Yep, and then we're gonna get paid $1 a ton for it to go out, plus we're gonna get paid for them to bring it in.
Sounds like a win-win.
And we do
As long as we got room.
Yeah, even we do it for free, yeah.
Are they doing it themselves now?
Right, they have no room up there. Something, the DEP's come out with it, they don't have room to keep it, so. They come to me and present it to me, and I still, I'll bring it back to the board.
Is Hebron still bringing theirs here?
It's just something I think you're gonna have to keep an eye on, so it's, I mean, and we got so much room down there.
Right, and we done very well after the storm, and called the guy and he was there, so. He does a good job.
Yeah, if the board's okay with it, then I'll go ahead and do it.
I think the other stuff, Ed's just gotta, just keep an eye on it as it goes through the year. Let Adam know, let us know.
Yep.
Okay, you good with that?
Thank you.
All right. Okay, 5.5, transfer station front end loader.
All right, so we got the loader in over at the highway department, the new one that we got for the lease purchase. And I believe the intention was to take that, bring it over to the transfer station, then the transfer station's 2002 Volvo, which is I think a L70, we would be moving that down the road. My suggestion was I had put a 30-day kind of reference in there, but looking at the calendar, if we put that on municipal bid, I was thinking we could post it July 22nd, could open the bids on the 13th, and then the selectmen could review the bids and decide if they wanted to award it on like August 15th. So, does that sound agreeable?
Need a motion?
Yeah, we ought to have one.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? You,
Thank you.
okay, public safety building repair discussion.
So the police chief's been kind of taking the lead on the public safety building repairs with the HVAC. Reached out for a bunch of prices on heat pumps, as the board had asked. And correct me if I'm wrong, basically the responses you've been getting is that the building wasn't really designed for heat pumps, or they didn't want to give a quote, or...
They didn't even want to give quotes, they're not interested in any jobs. They said the building's not conducive to heat pumps.
But
They
you-
said it can be done, but the impression I believe we got, the cost would be astronomical, even with any incentives they may be involved.
But you reached out to more than one vendor though.
Yes.
The verbal quote, just ballparking it, would be $100,000 for the building, for the heat pumps, and they said it would look like one of the marijuana facilities from the exterior, because there'd be so many condensers around the building.
And they really wasn't interested.
What was, cost repair that actually, I've forgotten.
Yep.
22 to repair what we've got there.
What we, to repair the existing problem we have right now.
22,742.
Let's get it done.
Was that a motion,
Yep.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes, it was.
Do I hear a second? Any more discussion?
The thing is that we have here, is that the same as we get the prior estimate from Mason?
Yeah, that's the nascent estimate, yeah.
I just asked you because you know more about it.
Well, one of the times we talked with Mason, they asked, said that really needed a rooftop unit instead of those outside. Did they mention that at all on this go around?
No, this was just repair stuff. I would assume if we do something like that, we'd have to get another estimate. I'm sure. the
Yeah,
cost
they've
would be
given us
more.
a couple before, but as like the heat pumps, the building wasn't set up for what it is right at the moment anyways, either, so. But need to get it fixed, so.
Okay, so I got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? People?
Can you get a list of what companies you guys reached out to, that were interested to give it to Abby?
Okay, 5.7, Fire Department Fleet Discussion. Ashley?
So she's got some info on, we had talked about during the budget process, that 300,000 that was put aside, we talked about mini pumpers. And so she was gonna grab the floor on that.
I made this quick PowerPoint just so you guys could see, what the actual truck would look like. I know we've done a lot of talking about it, but, you haven't necessarily had the visual. So you'll just see, it's just a quick presentation. This is what I had presented to the department members, and I thought it'd be useful for you guys. Just showing what the truck would look like, and then basically what each compartment, would have for equipment. The mini pumper that, I mean, we've reached out to Allegiant, we've reached out to Greenwood, we've reached out to a bunch of different vendors, and we really are liking the Alexis, which is through Lakes Region and Ossipee, New Hampshire. The spec they came back with most recently was $491,000. We cut a list of about 12 things off the truck, and they didn't get numbers back to me in time because they had to send it back to the factory. Everything has to be re-engineered with weight and all that stuff. So The goal, or what I'm hoping to do is Alexis has set aside a chassis essentially for us if we want it, and if we were to bypass RFP, which is what I'm asking you to do, and go with the Alexis spec, we would be able to have the truck here in February. So if we were to go out to RFP, obviously that's about 30 days. Depending on who comes back, then we pick the bid. That person's awarded the bid. If we go that route, it's 2 to 3 years. But where Alexis has the chassis in stock and was able to meet basically everything we wanted and then some, we were hoping to go with that specific truck. I know this isn't the bid, I have it here, but obviously it's substantially thicker. Adam, I'm sure, could pass it along to you guys with all the details. But this truck would run in replacement of what is engine 5 right now. It has a 1,500 gallon per minute pump, which is the same pump that's on our Class A pumpers. It holds just under 300 gallons, has the same amount of hose that the Class A pumpers have. It just allows us to utilize, camp roads. This can be the first attack engine out the door. And that, this would put less wear and tear on our bigger apparatus going to medical calls as well, but it would still be able to do just as much as those other trucks. So do you have questions on it?
You changed some things, you said, from what they originally gave you?
Yeah, so the price is $491 is what they gave me. I know, like, for example, that truck had rear suction on it, just that one item is $11,000, so we took that off. So I know that brings it down to $480. Now all the other auto cart, stuff that we took off, I'm not sure what's gonna total taken off that price until it comes back. We're hoping to get it down to the $450, $460 mark. Obviously, that's just the truck. That's not including hose, that kind of stuff on it.
And the other people said they'd be 2 years out with it?
So if you go out to RFP and you do that, yeah, because the problem is chassis. Right now, they're not, a lot of these places don't have the chassis in stock ready to go, where Alexis, Lakes Region has been buying the chassis, and then they're just building them to a general spec, and they've been selling them. So they were willing to say, hey, if you go with us, we'll save you this chassis. So we would have to put the down, we'd pay the full amount of the chassis, which is 74, do you have any?
76, I think.
Okay, I was like 75, 76, right around there, 1,000, we pay for that, and then you don't have to pay for anything until it arrives. And you can do lease to purchase at that point, or pay it outright, however you guys choose to do that. We had set aside 300,000, so we have the ability to pay for the chassis now out of that. But as soon as the invoice sent, that has to be paid within 10 days, so we don't have a ton of time to necessarily wait on a chassis per se.
What's everybody else's opinion on it?
That 490 is low, way more than what I was expecting for this vehicle, but, do you know what a town or two towns just bought something similar to this?
So there's several towns, so, Alexis has trucks in Brownfield and Denmark, and we went and looked at Brownfield. Bridgeton has one arriving in September, which is an Alexis. Camden has a Dodge chassis, but it is an Alexis. Casco has one that they've had for several years now, and that's an E1 or an HME out of Greenwood. Those are the ones that, because we've spent a lot of time driving around to look at them and see what they like versus what they don't like, what they would have changed on the trucks. Those are the ones close by. Carabasset Valley bought one in the last year.
It was just in the paper in the last 2 or 3 weeks, maybe. Any chance you know? It was in the Sun Journal, just last couple weeks.
They bought one of these
Two
mini
towns,
pumpers?
there's a mini pumper, 2 towns went in and bought it together.
Interesting on that, but they're like
You remember
20
what town?
tons.
What I'm talking about?
Rumford bought one recently.
It seemed like it was
Rumford, Mexico, I think that's the one.
350,000, and they were getting it in 6 months, which sounded pretty quick.
I was like, I know Rumford, Mexico bought one and it was delivered in the last 6 months and they've had several of our per diems work full-time in Rumford. The truck's out of service more than it's in service and the person who sold it to them seems to not be part of a reputable company and they can't get them to come back and fix a lot of the issues they're having with it. And it was, I think it was around the 320 mark, but they're certainly paying for that now.
So whose truck would be underneath this chassis?
It's a Ford F-550. With four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Which is pretty standard at this point. They're either Fords or Dodges, but we
Yeah.
expect it out to be a Ford.
Do I hear a motion? Scott?
For the price that you were looking at, I realize it's gonna be a while, but I would not be in favor of bypassing the bid process. Especially since the fact that we had one and it was dismantled first of the year, so obviously not that big of a rush. So I would just as soon go and do the bid process and see what we get for prices.
We didn't have one though.
Well-
The pump that was on engine 5 wasn't a Class A pumper of 1,500 gallons per minute.
No, but you had a mini pump that, to do what you needed, we've used it for that before, it worked fine for 21 years, so it's just my thought, actually.
Right, I think that they're significantly different trucks, specifically in the pump. I wouldn't have taken, and I don't think you would have, operationally taken that truck to a structure fire, where this truck absolutely could be to a structure fire. You know, with 1,500 gallon per minute pump versus what was engine 5's. I mean, that happened before me, but what was it, 500, 250? It was significantly less.
180, but
Yeah,
still, my point is actually is that the department had one, and so I guess I don't know. I just think that, for me, the biggest part of it is the dollar amount.
Yeah, it's expensive.
I think I would concur, that's my hesitation, and whether we had one or didn't have one, it makes nothing to do with me. It's going against, deciding whether we're gonna go against our own town policy of going out to bid for something at this price. If you come back with a better number, down closer to 350, 400, I think we could probably revisit it then, but without a more definitive number, I certainly don't want to go forward and say, yes, let's buy this truck for 78 and wait and see what it's going to be, because.
It is a lot of money to put out with one.
Well, the lowest number I've gotten back is 400, but that had significantly less stuff than this did, and it would barely do the job. It would be getting another truck that I don't think would last.
Did you put
20
a spec
years.
out on this?
Did we put this, we haven't
No.
done the RFP or anything like that.
You haven't.
No, we just, the Allegiance, Greenwood, those people will come and talk to you and sit down and say, hey, this is what we're looking at, can you ballpark us? And there's been so many people in the area having bought not in the area, but with the state, they can change those people's specs to ours with not a ton of legwork, so they're willing to do that to give you a price.
Well, I think you still got to put it out.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask, if we're going the bid direction, is the board comfortable if we put the specs together and we put the bid out sooner than later, as soon as we're ready to put it out to bid?
I'm okay with that. I don't know what it is.
I'm good with that.
I just wanna make sure we have some momentum when we
Yeah.
meet here tonight, one way or another, that's all.
I mean, they're certainly welcome to bid unless they sell that to somebody else in the next 30 days. If we put it out for 30 days, then
Okay. But at least we can get momentum.
Yeah, that's fine. with me.
they know we want one, so.
Yeah, I'm fine either way. I just like that this one you can get in February, but I'm waiting to get whatever truck.
Alright, so I'll take care of that, or we'll take care of it.
Do it.
Can, the chief touch on the ambulance situation
Yes,
real quick?
that would be a good.
So as I'm sure you guys saw on the news, our ambulance was in an accident on Friday. Luckily, no one was hurt, just minor injuries for our staff. They're all back to work now. Insurance hasn't gotten back to us whether it's gonna be totaled or renounced or anything like that, so we're still waiting. I touched base with them at 3 o'clock and they still hadn't made any decisions. We do have a loaner at the station right now, but we're just waiting to hear on insurance. Luckily, it wasn't, also no one was hurt, but also it wasn't our fault. The other driver on Route 26 crossed the center line.
So I'm hoping at the next selectmen's meeting that we have more definitive information about the insurance side of things, so we can have a discussion on what happens next. So,
I'm sure they're checking with the other driver's insurance. Hopefully he had it.
I hope so.
Norway handled the accident.
Yes, it is.
But service is still 100%, and there's.
Yep, and loaners in the station from Autotronics. It was there last night.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Next on these supplements and abatements, do we want to handle these individually, or do we want to take them and take a recommendation?
I make a motion, we take the recommendation of the assessment
On all of them,
on all the ones that, same as last time, they have the dollar amount.
I second that.
Okey-dokey. Yes. Had a motion, you seconded it. Any more discussion on it? All those in favor of the ones with dollar amounts?
Just to be clear, that's 5.8, 5.9, 5.10, 5.11, 5.12, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Now on 513, the abatement, 75 Neal and Tamara Court. I'm going to take a look at that, see what you think.
Make a motion, we concur with the assessing agent.
Yeah, on just that one or all of them?
Well, if we can do all of them together, I would go with her recommendation all the way down the list.
What, you have a second on that?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion at all on that? Good, all those in favor? What does that bring us down to, buddy?
So it takes care of 13, 14, 15, 16.
We're done with that. Department head report, please.
517, sorry.
Oop, 517.
and 18 still.
Okay, all right.
Colleen, did you have anything that you wanted to? There you go.
Think we're good?
You good?
Thank you, Colin.
So for 517, I did receive, I sent an email out, but here is a copy of the appropriation from the school, in case you don't, I just got that a little earlier. Obviously tonight's is to sign the warrant, for, the warrant, but, their new total appropriation, their proposed appropriation according to this new budget is $4,852,478. That is a $477,000 increase over last year. The failed amount was 5.3 million. I'm rounding.
So it was about $500,000 less than what was defeated in the G.
Right, I think a big part of that is they took the 2 million out of it, that 2 million capital, but yes. So the board is just asked to sign the warrant.
So we're supposed to sign this before they actually have the forum to vote?
Well, it's the posting for all of the above. The,
Just to get prep work.
We really don't need to vote on that, or just sign it? Is that what everybody would like to do?
I make a motion, we sign the warrant and notice.
Favor, second?
Second.
All in favor?
thank you.
Open Whitney Pond Grade Control Project Update and RFP Award.
All right, we're a little excited here. So,
Don't show it.
yeah. So the Hogan and Whitney Pond project for the grade controls, that we finally got through the Army Corps review. We just got through the HUD review, and now we are seeking back out to receive the actual grant funds. But we have been given the go-ahead to move forward with the project, the grade controls. And so we finally have gotten there. The couple of little things we're waiting for is again for the funds to come in, and then we can kick things off. But one of the issues we're running into is it's late in the season. VHB, our engineer that we've been working with, is recommending, if the board remembers, we did put out a bid about 18 months ago to install those grade controls. Pratt & Son was the only one that bid. Pratt & Son is willing to honor their bid from about 18 months ago. VHB, the engineer, is recommending that we would not go out to bid and lean on Pratt & Son's price from 18 months ago. So my request to the board is, would you consider awarding the bid to Pratt & Son based on what they provided us 18 months ago? I have that here, and they feel that they could make this fall work if they are awarded the bid, this fall work.
I'd be for it, I don't know somebody else would.
That bid project done.
Second.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
Ricky, I think you and Ashley are up next.
Reference the race and update from that.
As far as the race track, that went very well. The only problem we had with that day was a stolen car that we recovered the same day. Other than that, we had zero problems. It was reasonable. We're happy.
Yep, 0 issues, well.
How did the crowd come out? About what you said it would, or?
I still think the number's a little bit higher, but there's no problem. So. I don't know if any of you drove by that day, but.
I took a ride around the place there.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit more campers there than what he anticipated, and out back was just full out by the pits area.
What I will say though was that was a different crowd than the 250 crowd, different group of people. So we didn't have any issues. Not to belittle the 250 crowd, it's just different people. The Actor wasn't here. I know they bring their own following, but I felt we had a really good crowd and one person.
So that's great, everything went great, especially on my other job. And, but if he's got more numbers than what the permit allows, that's something we need to address.
I haven't gotten exact numbers, and the excuse that I was given was people who went into the pits out back with bracelets was also allowed to go into the grandstands. So he said it was hard for him to keep track of exactly how many people he had where.
He's not been forthcoming with numbers
So-
in pre-sales and after the
I
fact.
would reiterate, he's a businessman, and I'm sure he knows how many tickets and bracelets he sold to that race. He can't tell you how many people got in for free or snuck in or whatever, but he knows how many sales he had. And going forward, he can work with us, or he wants a permit for this number again, and we think it was higher than that, we'll require him to have the higher permit.
I will tell you, I went down at the very start of the whole thing, and I actually spoke to Tom, the actual owner of the track, and he questioned me about the town wanting his business there. And I made him feel quite assured that we want his business there and want him to succeed. We need to work with them and make sure,
I think we would all agree, we would like his business there.
yes.
We have town policies and town ordinances in place that the townspeople passed, and we should be requiring him to meet those ordinances as they're set. We
Fire chief and
don't
I have
have
a meeting
variance.
with Mike Monday in regards to the 250. We're starting that process now.
But in defense of the Orchard Plain Speedway, this was the first time they ever had that race. This is what they anticipated. They maybe didn't believe that many people would show up. So, I mean, you can't, get upset with them and
Not upset
say
with them at
that
all.
you get laws to go by, but you can't go by it if you have no actual idea.
This year is done and over with, and I
Okay.
think everybody's happy. But if he knows he had more than the 5,000 people there, when it comes time for next year,
Oh, yes,
he
but I
needs to
mean,
put in for a permit that's appropriate for the number of people.
well, I
he
thought
has.
he was just saying that right now, he should come forth and say what he had for attendance. He could probably do that for next year, but, I mean, it's already gone by. Why are we concerned about it now?
Because he does it all the
I'm
time.
talking about for next year, for the next time he wants a permit for
If he
1,000.
has that race next year, we'll meet with him and hopefully have those answers so we can decide which permit he's going to require.
There's not a huge difference between the permits, it's just
No,
they're-
one
they're
ordinance
set
is
to the
not.
ordinance,
Yeah.
so.
Anything else, or we, questions for the police department, fire department? Nope. Town manager's report.
Well, when we weren't gonna have the RFP for that, Hogan Whitney thing, that was gonna be my big reveal, but I had to put it as a business item when we had the RFP, so other than that, things are status quo.
Good deal. Any issues with selectmen? Well, guess we ought to see some water.
It's something I can't visualize.
So, Jim, you didn't have anything to do tonight, just want to come and visit?
I got a request for the newspaper. So the school district in their budget, in their votes, when they have votes, they're quick to point out, go to your town office and vote on August 5th or whatever it's gonna be. Nowhere do they mention the budget meeting at the forum is a open vote for all registered voters in the district. If you can find it anywhere in writing that that's a place that you go vote, buy your lunch.
Okay,
Look at the flyers that come in the mail.
I'll be advancing it next week and I will, or before Tuesday, I will ask that question.
I think there's just a lot of people that don't know that. I didn't know that in years past.
Yeah. No, it's like,
Having some trouble doing this?
Sure, have at it.
While you folks are signing warrants, I was asked by the school department recently, they want to do a 5K fundraiser. I'd like to do it similar to what the rec department did this summer, except they want to do it December 1st, right from our parking lot here. Is that something that the board would have any heartburn about?
You said something, or somebody said something.
I did.
That's not the school district, it's the
PTA, right?
PTA, right? Which,
I'm sorry, yeah,
I'm
I
fine with it.
misspoke.
They're their own nonprofit.
Correct, yeah, I mixed them all together.
I'm fine with this.
I mean, my only thing was that, if they need access to the building, I want a staff person here.
Oh, jeez.
Kind of thing, but,
They know this.
Yeah. How many do we have? Oh, every abatement.
but if you guys are open to that, I'll work it out. Thank you.
We voted them all mass, I figured we could just do them.
Yeah. The two men, a friend, his friend,
They want to do it December 1st.
his wife died.
You can go soon.
Sunday.
They come every summer. Well, they're doing it now, well, he's alone, so. No,
That's
that
fine.
would be too crazy, he's very good.
I think they're gonna get an interesting call there. Or something like that.
That talk will not be very bad.
If you could have some
I think the one that wants to-
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's that?
You can do the 5K. You do the 5K, wouldn't you?
It's gonna take about 3 minutes to drive it.
What's that?
These are the abatements.
That's a good question, what is the next meeting? What's the date, are we back to the regular?
Oh, the next,
The first.
First and third.
It's April first, April, August. April, August. Oh, well, yeah. You've got April on your mind, yeah?
August 1st, yep.
August first, okay. All right. Okay. Well, I guess I should tell her.
Yeah.
Tiger Hill. Take care. Rather than.
Lisa?
Sharon, you'd be upset because we're going this way and not this way.
What's that?
Jammies gets up, she does her elastics all special. So just making me worry about that.
I don't know if that's the end of the abatements or.
No,
Oh,
th-
wow.
There are some more abatements, that'll be forthcoming. I believe we've got like about 25-ish left. And I was going to see where we were on August 1st, how many she had done at that point. She'll also have the total value of all the abatements for you at that meeting too.
When's the next meeting? First of August, I mean, first of August, maybe.
You'll still be at the public safety building.
How is that coming?
I'm just asking, if the town wants to spend some money. I bought it in October.
That's great. Yeah, the project's coming along good. As far as the only thing we're waiting on is the pump station, right?
That's cool.
It is coming along good, though. You guys have got, everything's good at this point, right? Other than waiting on the pump station?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
It's not like he really needs it.
I don't think he means either. He has not enjoyed the project.
I don't know who these guys are. I don't know where it's coming from. And I thought they was both, the special ed. But, sewer poured out there. Just one of those, like, disgusting.
Very bad.
Yeah, inside the building, he means.
Well, today was outside.
Yeah,
And
it
it
was
was.
inside,
I don't know
all
if
is
it's-
inside the building.
I don't know if it's coming from the old leach field or where it's, but it's like,
Is something you uncovered out there?
no,
Well, I know that Zenia was working on the pipe roadside, and there was a lot, you know,
Has any water been put down the drains in the locker rooms lately?
well,
The women's room, yes.
Because
Because
typically
there's
when that,
people who-
when you
who
smell
shower.
that, typically that's where it is, that
Well,
trap
I-
dries out and it
in the
allows.
showers.
There's a floor drain in the locker room.
I wondered if it wasn't a dry trap somewhere or something.
That's what he said.
Typically, that's what it's always been in the past, but it could be, knowing that building, it could be very something.
It's gotta go up there.
They have to, what happened to the plans? Because there was a plumbing thing for that.
We have the plumbing thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Make a motion, we sign 4 and 5.
Should be able to find out where the.
Second.
Scott, beat me to it.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was,
Oh, don't need it.
Ashley, that was Dixfield and Wilton.
Well, did
It's
you,
a $400,000 pumper
what,
in the Sun Journal.
Have we?
what was it?
Okay.
No, I can only visit it so many times. I'm just curious who, what type of truck it is.
Yeah, tell me before you- That lady got back to me this morning, she said she talked to you.
We got rain